Welcome to Estero Today, produced by Engage Estero. I'm your host, Mike Wasson. If you've been feeling that our local economy is okay, but not great, the November 2025 regional economic indicators support that view. Nationwide, the economy continues to grow, but at a slower pace than earlier this year. The local unemployment rate is 4.3%. Inflation has eased since the 2021-2022 spike, but it remains higher than we're used to. Wages have increased, but not enough for many families to feel financially secure. As a result, more cautious and selective spending and giving more thought to every non-essential purchase. The data I'm sharing with you comes from the FGCU Regional Economic Research Report and the FGCU Economics Indicators Dashboard. More details are available on our website at www.esterotoday.com in an article entitled December 2025 Update on the Local Economy. So, what are some key measures of significance for our area? In Southwest Florida, our economy depends upon tourism and discretionary spending. Regionally, seasonally adjusted taxable sales are down about 8% from a year ago. The local unemployment rate is higher than earlier in the year at 4.3%. Job growth has slowed sharply. We are seeing the following shifts. First, leisure and hospitality jobs are shrinking. More on this later. But education and healthcare jobs are growing. It appears we are relying less on service jobs focused on our visitors and increasing our focus on year-round residents who work in hospitals, clinics, and schools. So when looking at tourism, a similar result emerges. Passenger traffic through our airports is up compared to last year. Tourist tax revenues are higher than in 2024. But both these levels are still well below 2022. While we are busier than last year, we haven't climbed back to the pre-Hurricane Ian peak. Hurricane Ian remains a big part of the story. 3 years later, we are still short of an estimated 2,500 hotel rooms and rental units on Sanibel, Captiva, and on Estero Road on Fort Myers Beach. Fewer rooms mean fewer visitors can stay, no matter how intense the demand. And fewer rooms, of course, mean fewer jobs in tourism for workers in Lee County. In addition, due to the drop in value of the Canadian dollar and to others reacting to President Trump's actions regarding the tariff dispute with Canada, the number of Canadian visitors has suffered a significant drop. These factors collectively explain why the 2025 tourist tax income is 22% below the year 2022, and why many island-dependent businesses feel they are struggling. Indeed, replacing the lost rooms and properties will likely take another 3 to 5 years. Now, also, we must consider the inflation shock from the 2021 and 2022 price jump in everything from food and fuel to dining out and insurance. While workers saw their paychecks go up, this wasn't enough to fully offset these increases. When people feel squeezed, they don't always cancel trips, but they do trade down. That means shorter stays, more meals cooked at home, fewer impulse outings, and only one special splurge instead of several splurges. Now, while we might still have a reasonable number of visitors, We are seeing weaker tourist taxes and sales tax receipts because visitors are spending less per day. And housing is going through its own reset. From 2021 to 2023, home prices across the region soared significantly. And with higher insurance costs, higher HOA fees, and inflation, the total cost of owning a second home here in Southwest Florida has climbed steeply. These factors have weighed on people's decisions to purchase a first or second home in recent months. That has significantly cooled the market. The seller's market of a couple years ago now favors buyers in some segments. I should say, though, at the same time, there is some evidence that full-time residents are trading up in the Greater Estero area or buying newer or better located homes. Growing employment in healthcare and education is attracting more year-round households to the area. This means our housing market is gradually pivoting from seasonal investors to permanent residents. And permanent residents have income that is tied to the local economy. While these trends do not make snowbirds less important, they actually highlight how critical snowbirds are. And snowbirds fill up restaurants, golf courses, pickleball courts, and concert seats. They support condo and HOA budgets. They donate to churches, scholarships, and nonprofits. When there are fewer snowbirds, or when they stay for shorter times and they spend less freely, the impact shows up quickly, and taxable sales, business revenues, and service sector jobs are affected. So, what does this mean for an Estero residents? First, we should expect a slower, bumpier recovery and tourism that many hoped would pop right back after Eon. Well, it's just not happened. It's not just about rebuilding structures, it's about rebuilding discretionary spending power and confidence among visitors. Second, we need to recognize who is driving growth now. Healthcare and education are becoming the anchors of a more year-round economy. That brings different needs like workforce housing, school capacity, medical services, and recreation. That makes sense for families. Recreation and medical facilities that make sense for families, not just seasonal visitors. Third, seasons are changing shape. Instead of a sudden wave of high-spending snowbirds, we may see a larger base of year-round residents, plus a more modest, but still vital, seasonal layer on top. Finally, local choices matter. Where we shop, where we dine, which nonprofits we support, and how we participate in public discussions about housing, insurance, infrastructure, and rebuilding will shape the next decade for the Greater Estero area. The November indicators don't signal a crisis, but they do highlight several significant changes from the past and a heavy reliance on snowbirds. Local businesses in the community will need to adapt to these trends. By staying informed, supporting local businesses, and engaging in what is happening in our local economy and county planning, we can better understand this transition and adapt to ensure our economy remains strong. I hope this information has been helpful. Thank you for joining us this week at Engage at Estero today. We hope you have found the information interesting and helpful. So if so, please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the bell icon. And we encourage you to share this podcast with your friends. Comment below or email us with your ideas for future podcasts. Our email address is info@esterotoday.com. That's info, I-N-F-O, at esterotoday.com. Produced by Engage Estero. This is your host, Mike Wasson, wishing you a good week and hoping you can join us next week for more news on Estero Today.